Rehan Sankriya and welcome to this session where we'll be making an animated button using Figma. So this is a very cool looking animation. So without any further delay, let's call upon the mentor for today, Neha Fatima, and just let us see what this animation is all about. Neha, can you please come online?
Yeah. Hello everyone, I am Neha Fatima and I am a UI UX designer at Dokuten. And today we'll be making a very cool looking submit button animation. So how many of you are excited for this? I hope you've all seen the animation that we put up on the community and also on our Instagram. Great, great, great. Okay. So let me quickly share my screen and we can get started with it. Until then, you can get your Figma set up and keep it ready.
Yep, by the time Neha is sharing her screen to show you the animation that we are going to make today, all of you those of you don't know, this is software where you can create amazing designs and these UI and UX interactions. So it's just crazy what this software does. So I'm going to drop the link to the software here in the chat box so that you can go. And the best part is it also runs on the web. So you can go ahead and just open it and create an account. It's free. So you can just log in and you'll get this screen what you can see right now and you'll be good to go. So all of you go to the link, open the Figma window and just let us know when you are ready. So you can write let's go in the chat box and we'll begin.
So this is the animation that we will be making today. So you can see this little activate button which changes motion on hover and then on click. It brings up a loader and that turns into a little submit activated button that turns green. So once you all are ready, we will start making the animation.
Yup, this animation is so cool. You just can you replay the animation like the way
Yeah,
that so the best part that I feel about this animation is when that arrow morphs into that tick bar.
yeah.
That's just amazing.
Figma
And
Smart Animate is just one feature that we
exactly.
all love.
Plus, the best part is there is no coding involved. This is all design. Okay, all different
Yeah.
shapes and different values for rotation and everything. You'll just get to know what this is, and you'll see how awesome this thing is. So, okay, Nancy is ready with this. What about others? Just give us a heads up that you are ready, and then we can start the session.
Okay. Okay, great. So let's get started. Okay. So before we get started with the animation, let me give you a brief of Figma for the newcomers here or the ones who are not familiar with Figma. So the first thing that you can see on your screen on the right side, this is called your properties panel. It has three portions. It has design, prototype, and inspect. Today we'll be concerning ourselves with design and prototype panel. You don't have to worry about inspect. And then we have on the left side we have our layers and assets panel. So layers panel is what we'll be working with today. And on the top, we have this little toolbar which gives us different tools, and you can see here frame and slice, and you can see different shapes over here, and the pen and pencil tool, and the text button, the comment button. So there are a lot of tools over here. Okay. So before we get started, make sure all of your rulers are on. Again, to turn your rulers on, you can see these little rulers on the top of my screen and also on the left side of my screen. So to turn them on, all you have to do is head over to your tools bar. On the left side, you can see this little Figma icon. Click on the drop down and you can see head over to view and head over to rulers and press that. Or you can just press Shift R on your keyboard if you want to directly go it. Okay. So the first thing that we'll be doing is we'll be making a frame. So to do that again, we'll head over to our properties panel, click on this little drop down, select the frame and draw one here. Okay. And now we can see that on my properties panel on the right side, a lot of properties appear here, right? So now I'm going to change the width and height, maybe to about 300, 250 pixels width and a height of about maybe 100. Okay. So once we are done with that, the next thing that we will be doing is adding a rectangle inside it. Okay. So let me select a rectangle from here from the shapes icon and draw it over. Okay, once I have drawn the rectangle inside, make sure that your rectangle is inside your frame in the layers panel. This is your layers panel on the left side, and make sure that your rectangle 1 is inside your frame 1. Let us change this to 1 so that further we don't have any confusion. Okay, so frame 1 rectangle needs to be inside. So now we're going to select the rectangle from the layers panel, head over to our properties panel on the right side, and you can see a lot of properties here. You can see the X and Y axis positioning and width and height, and you can see this little curved icon. We're going to select that, click on that, and maybe change the border radius. This is what is called the border radius or the corner smoothing. So we will change that to maybe 500 to make the borders completely smooth for the button. And now you can see that the rectangle is here, and the background we can see the frame's white part that we do not want to see right now. So we'll do one thing. We'll head over to our frame, select the frame, the entire frame, and on our properties panel on the right side, you can see fill is 100%. Let us simply just change that to 0. Okay, so our frame is invisible now. We can only see our rectangle inside, but the frame is still visible on the layers panel. Right? So we have a rectangle and we have our frame. So the next thing that we will be doing is changing the color of the button. So again, to change the color of the button, select the rectangle inside and head over to your properties panel. On the down part, you can see a little fill property. So beneath the fill property, you can see this little box. Click on that and change the color of the button to whatever you may like, green or blue or anything for that matter. So I'm just gonna change it to a light, nice shade of purple or blue. Let's go with purple itself. Okay. Maybe a layer more purplish. Yeah. Okay. So I've got my color now. So our rectangle is the color that we desire right now. So the next thing that we'll be doing is putting in text here. So the first thing that we're trying to achieve is that we need to achieve this initial state. So we're trying to make the UI of the first part, that is the user interface, the design, and then we'll move on to animate it. Right. So in the beginning stage, you can see this little activate text, and on the left side you can see this little circle with a up arrow icon which changes into a tick mark later. So let's first draw this little thing together on the canvas. To do that, again I will head over to my canvas, go to my toolbar, select my text and come back to my canvas and just press somewhere, click somewhere and type activate. So now you can see when I select my text on the properties panel, you can see new properties appearing here. You'll be able to see text and then you'll be able to see your font family or typography that you've chosen. So I've just taken Montserrat, so that is cool. And your thickness of the font, you can change it to semi-bold or whatever that you'd like. And the font size is 20 pixels or 24 pixels, depending on what size you've taken your frame. Okay. And you can see all of these properties here. We are going to head over to the fill property, click on this little fill box, and now we're just going to drag this little wheel and bring it to maybe a very light shade of gray. Okay, so we have that now. Next thing we want to do is add in our little circle and the text box, the icon inside it, right? So to do that, again, we will head over to our toolbar, select this drop down and choose an ellipse from here. And when I'm drawing the ellipse, make sure you're pressing shift on your keyboard. So press shift and drag. Okay. So maybe we'll make this width and height of about 55. Let's change this, head over to our properties panel and change the height and width to 55 pixels. I think 55 suffice? Yeah. Okay, so once we're done with that, again, we'll change the color of the little circle ellipse that we've got. We'll select it, head over to our properties panel, go to the fill property, use this little color picker. Okay, so you can see this little color picker beneath your color wheel. You will click on that and we will drag it to this white activate and we'll take the color of the activate button, activate text that we've chosen. Okay, so now you can see my circle color has changed to the color that I've taken for the activate text. Right, so I've got that too. So let's quickly add off some rulers to our little button so that all of our elements are inside those rulers. To add rulers again, you can press Shift R and this little ruler will appear on your sidebar. And to use them, all I have to do is go and hover over it and drag. Okay, so I'm just gonna place it here and drag another ruler from this side and place it here. I'm gonna make sure my elements are sticking to those rulers. Okay, done. Great. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is add in my little arrow button that I can see over here, right, the up arrow. So you can again go ahead and use a vector, you can use an icon from Iconify, but you won't be able to animate it like how it is transitioning into a tick mark. Right, you have to make sure that your transitions are smooth and they look the same way. If you select two icons from Iconify or any other plugin with that matter, you won't see the smooth transitioning. If you simply just use an arrow mark in the first frame and a tick mark on the second frame, you won't see the smooth transitioning. The main reason for this is that Figma animates objects that have matching layers. So that is a very important part of actually achieving this animation. So everything, whatever frame I copy, whatever animation I want to achieve, I will need to have matching layers. So you will find out what matching layers means in a few minutes. Okay. So the next thing we'll be doing is making the arrow mark. We'll make that little icon instead of just getting it from plugin. So let's quickly head over to our toolbar, select our rectangle from here, and we'll be drawing it over here. Okay, maybe 5 is good enough, or 4 pixels of width is enough. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. And we'll change the border radius of this little rectangle to maybe 20, 30. Again, the similar way that we did it in the beginning. Okay, so once we're done with that, I am going to drag this in the middle and copy that twice. To copy a component, again, all you have to do is select the component and Alt and drag. Okay, I'm going to do that twice, Alt and drag. Okay, so for these two rectangles, I need to make it look like an arrow. So I am going to change the degrees. So to change the angle of these, I will select one of these rectangles, head over to my properties panel. And over here, you can see your X, Y, and width and height, and you can see this little angle icon. So I'm going to change that to 45 degrees on one of them. And on the other rectangle, I'm going to change it to maybe minus 45 degrees. Okay, once I'm done with that, I am going to reduce the height of these to maybe 6. That is too small, maybe 8 will do. Yeah, okay. So we've got our rectangles here. We'll just place them together on top of the first rectangle so that it looks like an arrow. Okay, so once it looks like an arrow, once we've achieved that state, we will move on to the next part. Okay. Okay, so we have our little arrow over here. The only thing left to do is change the arrow's color, right? Let me position this a little bit correctly. Okay, great. So I'm going to select all these 3 rectangles and group them together. So to group it again, I will select one, press shift on my keyboard and select the other 2, and Control G on my keyboard to group them. And I will head over to my properties panel and now change the color of it to the background purple color that I've used. Okay, so I'll select the element, I'll head over to my properties panel. Under the fill section, I will choose this little box, click on my color picker, and drag the color of the background purple. So now my arrow is purple. Right, let's take a look at it. Okay, we've got our arrow. It's not centered, and maybe we'll increase the size a little bit. So let's select it and increase the size. To increase the size again, shift on your keyboard and then increase it so that the height and width ratio is not tampered with. And I'm going to center it here. Okay, make sure all your elements are centered properly. So once we have that, so now you can see that we have an initial state, right? We have our activate text, and with our up arrow icon, all we need to do is animate it to a tick mark, just like we can see over here, right? So are you guys done with the basic UI, the first part of this animation that we're going to achieve? If you guys are facing any trouble anywhere, you can let me know. Tushar is asking, can we use arrow option? Okay, I'm not very sure what you're talking about over here. Do you mean to say, can we use the icon or the emoji? Okay, so leave your doubt in the chat box if you're facing anything, or leave a yes in the chat box so we can move on to the next part. Okay, ready-made arrow, as in you mean to say icon, right? Okay, ready-made arrow. So I'm not very sure what you're talking about when you say ready-made arrow. So when you say ready-made arrow, it means that you're getting it from another source, which is in the drop-down menu. Oh, you're talking about. Oh no, you can make them. You can use these shapes to make them. But again, you can simply just use rectangles to make them, because it's going to be easier, because you saw how we transitioning the little up arrow icon into a tick, right? So it'll be easier for us to transition from that to that. You can also make an arrow using the pen tool. Okay, great. Yeah, if you want to make an arrow using the pen tool, you can definitely go ahead and do that. Okay, so should we move on to the next part? If you guys are doing, let me know you're doing, or type a yes in the chat box so we can move on to the next part and start animating this. Okay, great. Nancy's ready. Okay, great. Okay, so let's move on to animating it. So the next thing that we'll be doing is copying this entire frame, right? So the first thing I'll be doing, I'll be selecting this frame, this entire frame. Make sure you're selecting the entire frame in the layers panel. And I'm going to copy this frame. So to copy it again, Alt and drag, or just press Ctrl D on your keyboard. And once we're done with that, we are going to change the name of this frame to 2 to avoid any confusion. So we'll just close this one and head over here. Right. So now when you look into the animation, you can see that slowly this arrow is transitioning into a tick mark, and you can see these three rectangles are transitioning into two, and the third one disappears, right? So let's quickly see how we can achieve that. Okay, so let's zoom into our second frame, and all we're going to do is select this little group and rotate it. We're going to rotate it just like that. Okay, and we are going to change the angle of this little one so that it looks like a tick mark. So I'm going to select it, head over to my properties panel, and right now the angle is minus something, 175 something. So let's just change it to minus 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Okay, so let me position that properly. Okay, yeah, let me position it properly. And the next thing I'm going to do, that this little extra rectangle, I'm going to reduce the width of it and place it in the center. So I'm just going to drag it and place it in the center such that it's not visible itself. Okay, so that it fades into this little arrow that we're making. Right, so let's quickly select this rectangle and place it, position it properly again. Okay. Let me select this circle and position it in the right place as well. Okay, so we have our tick mark. So the next thing that we'll be doing is just prototyping it, adding the animation. So once you've got the tick mark, once you've rotated it and decreased the size of the third rectangle and positioned all of it correctly, what we'll be doing is we'll be selecting our first frame, and we'll be heading over to our properties panel, click on prototype over here, and we'll just click on plus interactions, or you can look at this little frame, you can see this little dot. You'll just have to click on the plus icon and drag it to the next frame. And once you do that, you'll be able to see this interaction appear, which will say on click navigate to. We will change on click to while hovering, and smart animate, animation will be smart animate. and the animation will be linear and 200 milliseconds, right? So make sure it is while hovering, navigate to frame 2, smart animate linear and 200 milliseconds. Now let's quickly play this and see. Let's see how this looks. Okay, let me refresh it again. Okay, so this is our little rectangle animation, the button that we can see in the beginning. Now we are going to animate it. Let's see how it works. So right now you can see the arrow transitioning into the tick mark, right? But again, we can see a little bit of the third arrow and it's not very smooth. So let's quickly change that. Let's maybe increase the speed of the animation. Maybe that will work. So let's change it to 100 milliseconds. Okay, let's play it again. Yeah. So when I hover over my little activate button, it changes into a tick mark. Okay, so we have achieved the first hover animation. The next thing to go is the on-click loader animation. So on-click of this little button when I hover over it, and when I click on it, I want the loader to appear. Okay, so let me show you quickly how it happens. So when I hover over this, the tick mark appears. When I click on it, my tick disappears in the background and then my loader appears and then it grows back into a tick mark, right? So the next thing that we'll be doing is we'll make this transition and fade away into the background and then we'll make it come up and show the loader animation. So let me know if you guys are done with this first hover animation and then we'll head on to doing the loader animation that will be on click. Leave a yes in the chat box if you're done. Yep, okay. Let's wait for a minute so all of you can catch up and then we'll move on. So again, if you remember, I was talking about the mapping layers. If I open up both frames in my layers panel, you can see that both frames have the same, exact same components. Just as this has transitioned into something else, but the components are exactly the same. You can see group 1, ellipse 1, activate and rectangle 1, the same thing in the first frame as well. So this is the key to achieving any smart animation. Right, to smart animate anything in Figma, this is the key, having matching layers. So if you use an up arrow icon in the first frame and then you use another icon in the second frame, it won't animate the same way because it is necessary that the same groups or the same layers are present in each of your frames before you animate it. Right, so that is the key. So remember that and we are good to go. Okay, Nancy's done. What about the rest of you? Great, okay. Let's wait up for a few more seconds and then we'll head on. Great, great, okay. Okay, so the next thing that we will do, we'll be trying to achieve the loader animation. Before that, we want the tick mark to disappear. Okay, so let me show you that again. So you can see it disappears. When I click on it, it disappears into the background. Let's do that quickly. Okay, so to do that again, I'll select my second frame and I will copy it. So to copy it again, Alt and drag. Okay, Alt and drag, and now I'll change the frame name to 3. You can just head over to your properties panel and double click and you'll be able to rename it. And once you're done with that, let's zoom in a little bit. And what we want is that this little circle fades into the background. So what we'll be doing, we'll be selecting both our circle and our group 1 that consists of the tick mark. We'll select both of them together by pressing shift and we'll be decreasing the size. So again, to decrease the size, make sure you're holding shift on your keyboard and let's drag it and decrease the size. So now you can see, we'll just center it here with respect to our frame 3, the background rectangle. And now once you've decreased the size of it a little bit more, yeah. So once you've decreased the size of it so it looks nice, all we'll be doing is we'll be decreasing the visibility, we'll be making the visibility 0. Okay, so let me do that again. Decrease the size and bring it up here. Okay. So All I'm going to do, I'm going to select my little tick mark and my circle and head over to my properties panel on the right side. And in my selection colors, I'll be able to see the purple and white color. I'm just going to change the opacity to 0 for both. Okay, and 0. And let's see, let's click on prototype on our right side. And in this frame, I think we've added an animation by mistake. Let's remove that. Okay. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be clicking on our second frame and we want it to move on to our third frame when we click on it. So let's click on this little, when you hover on it, you'll be able to see this little plus icon. So we'll drag it and bring it to our third frame. And you'll be able to see this little interaction detail box, dialog box that you can see. So we'll be changing this to on click, navigate to frame 3, smart animate, linear and 100 milliseconds, the 200 milliseconds might also work. So let's quickly play this and see how it looks. Okay, on hover, it is changing into a tick mark. On click, the button, the little circle disappears into the background, right? So that we have achieved. Right. Okay. So let's head back to our main canvas. And the same thing that we'll be doing is in the next frame, we'll make the make the little circle icon and the tick mark grow back up, and we'll be changing that into a loader, and we'll animate it and then change it back into the tick mark and the circle. So let me wait up for a few more seconds so that all of you can catch up, and then we will move on to making the loader animation. That will happen on delay. Okay, so we don't want that we keep clicking on the frames and only then we see the animations. We want it to happen on delay, as in on its own. So for that, we will just change the interactions to on delay. You'll see in a bit. Okay, so let me know once you all are done so we can move on to the next step. Again, make sure that you're copying the same frames and the layers are same in your layers panel. Otherwise, the animation won't work out smoothly. So let me know once you're done and we will move on to the next part. Okay, Kushal is ready. What about the rest of you? Okay. Okay, great. So let's head on to the next part. Again, for the next part, what we'll have to do is we'll have to copy our third frame because we want the little circle that disappears into the background to increase into the full size circle again. So let me show the interaction again. So this is how it looks. On initial stage, it looks like this, and when I hover over it, the up arrow icon changes into tick mark, and when I click over it, you can see the loader animation appear and then fade and give me an activated tick mark, right? So all we're going to do is, you can see after fading into the background, it comes back up and brings a loader animation. So that we are going to try to achieve now. Okay. So I'll just copy my frame 3, select your frame 3, make sure you're selecting the entire frame, not only the group inside. Okay, and Alt and drag to copy it, or Control D. And I'll change the name of the frame to frame 4. Okay, and now let me zoom in a little bit. I hope I'm still audible. Okay. So after we copy the frame, all we'll have to do is increase the size of the circle that we made the visibility 0 of, right? So inside my fourth frame, I am going to select my ellipse and my group 1, head over to my properties panel in the design section, and I'm going to change the fill again that I changed to 0 in the previous one to 100%. But this time I'm not going to change the fill of this little purple tick mark. I'm just going to change the fill of the circle. So I'm going to change the fill of the circle to 100% and let the arrow be to 0% again. So I will select my rectangle circle again and increase the size. To increase the size again, I'm just going to press shift and increase it. Okay, let me center it with respect to the frame. Okay. Now let's increase the size a little bit more, maybe 55 pixels still. Okay. I am going to center this with respect to my rectangle. And yeah. Okay, once I've done that, I am going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see clearly. When you click on your double click on your little circle, when you click on your little circle, you can see this little round icon or shape. All you have to do is click on that and drag. So we are making an arc now. Okay, so to make an arc, all you have to do is click on that little circle that appears and drag it. Maybe this much is enough. Okay, so you can see now it looks like a sector has been taken off of the circle, right? So again, once we're done with that, we'll select our circle again. And this time you can see there are three circles that you can see ratio 0. It says sweep is minus 87. Here it starts at 0. So all I'll have to do, I'll have to move on to the center part of this, the circle which shows on the center part. And I will press Control Alt on my keyboard and drag it. I'm going to press Control on my keyboard and drag it and decrease the border, maybe the stroke or whatever you call it. Okay, so I'll just have to press Control and drag it to the boundaries. So once I'm done dragging it to the boundaries, I am going to change the border radius. So to change the border radius, again, I will have to select my circle, head over to my properties panel, maybe change it to 100. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so we have our circle ready. Let's see how this looks when we animate it, right? So I'm going to select my frame 3 and head over to my prototype, and I'm going to click on this little plus icon and drag it to my frame 4 and change this on delay. So in place of on click, I'm going to change it to after delay. So after delay, I want the delay to be of minimum 1 millisecond, and smart animate linear and 100 milliseconds works fine. So now let me play this and see how it looks. Okay, so this is the initial frame, and when I hover over it, shows me a tick mark. When I click on it, it fades and the loader appears. So now all we have to do is animate the loader. So before, again, if you guys are facing trouble with making this little loader by using the arc properties and all, let me know so I can repeat it. All we have to do is make a circle. I'll show you out of the canvas. So select a circle from your toolbar, press shift and draw it. Let me do that again. Shift and draw, and when you click on your circle, you'll be able to see this little arc when you hover over this little icon that is round. So I'm just going to drag that and create a sweep of maybe minus 86 or 87 or how much ever is enough. And after I'm done with that, again, when I hover over the circle, when I select the circle and hover over it, you'll be able to see this little circle icon in the center also. So all I have to do is press Alt on my keyboard and Control on my keyboard and drag this to the boundary. So that is all. Let me delete that. Let's get back to our frame. Let me wait up for a few more seconds. Show the interaction properties a third time. Okay, so the third time, all we're doing is we're decreasing the size of this little circle and the tick mark, and we're changing the fill property to 0. Okay, if I select this group and this one, LS, you'll be able to see in the properties panel on the right side. Okay, the frame. Frame, the prototype that we've added is just after delay. Okay, so you can see this. After delay, we'll need a delay of 1 millisecond, navigate to frame 4, smart animate, linear, and 100 milliseconds or 200, depending on what you like. Okay. Okay, so once we've achieved that little circle, once we've made that little circle, all we have to do is animate the loader. So let me know once you're done with achieving that little circle, and then we'll animate it. Okay, second one, we've done on click. Okay, if you see in the final presentation, you can see on hover this shows, and then on click, I want it to fade away. So what we've done is this one is on click, navigate to frame 3. So on click, we want it to fade away into the background. So we're changing that to on click, navigate to frame 3, smart animate, linear at 100 milliseconds again. Okay, great. What about the rest of you? Are you done till where we have achieved the 4th frame? We are halfway through this already. All we have to do is add the loader animation and then turn it back into our tick mark. So once you're done with this, creating this little circle, or if you're facing any issues, let me know so we can move ahead. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds, and then we'll move on. So type yes in the chat box once you're ready. Time for frame 3 to 4. We are changing. Okay, let me show you the interaction again. So here after delay, we don't want a delay of very long, right? So we are going to change that to 1 millisecond. Okay, and time again is 100 milliseconds itself. If you change that also to 1 millisecond, that'll be very less. You'll have to keep this to 100 milliseconds, and delay we want only 1 millisecond. Okay, and it'll be the same thing. We're just changing this to after delay, and here linear again and smart animate. Okay, are you guys ready? Should we move on to the next part? Okay, great. Okay, let's head on to our next part. Okay, so we have 4 of our frames and we've made this little loader circle. All we have to do is make it animate like we saw in the final animation. So to do that again, I will select my frame 4 and copy it. To copy it again, I will just Alt and drag or Control D. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to change the frame name to 5 to avoid confusion. And now all I have to do is change the position of this little circle. So select your circle and just rotate it like that. Okay, so I rotated it a little bit here. And then the same thing I'm going to do, I'm going to copy my frame 5 and Alt and drag, name it frame 6. And I'm going to change the position of the circle further more. Okay, again rotate it a little more to the left side. Same thing we'll be doing again. So we'll select our frame 6, Alt and drag, change the frame name to 7, and again we'll select our little loader and change the rotation again. So let's do that. Okay, so we have our loaders. Okay, so you can see this is how we want it to rotate. We wanted to start from the right side and then turn and rotate and come back to the top, facing topwards. Okay, so to animate this, once you've copied your frames 3 to 4 times, all you have to do is select your frame 4 where we left off on our animation. And you can see this little round icon beside your frame. We will click on it. We'll click on the plus icon, drag it to our frame 5. And this again, we'll change it to after delay of about 1 millisecond, smart animate, linear, and 100 milliseconds. The same way we'll animate the next rest of the frames as well. So I'll select my frame 5, do the same thing with it. Again, click on the plus icon, bring it to frame 6, change this to after delay, 1 milliseconds of delay, and navigate to frame 6, smart animate, linear, and 100 milliseconds. Same thing with my frame 6 to 7. So select your frame 6, drag your plus icon to the 7th, and we will change this back again to after delay of 1 millisecond and smart animate linear 100 milliseconds. Right? So we have our little loader animation with us as well. Let's quickly play it and see how it looks. Okay, so this is our initial frame that we saw. On hover, it changes into a tick mark, and now I'm going to click on it. Now you can see that it faded into the background and then appeared back up, and the loader rotated seamlessly, right? So you can see the rotation and it stops over here on top. So the next thing that we want to achieve is that after it rotates, we want it to fade back in like we did in the initial third frame, and then we want it to come back up and show a green button that says activated. Right, so let's head back to our canvas. So are you guys done with this loader animation until the frame 7 or 6? So the transition from frame 4 till frame 7 is only, I'll show you, it's only after delay, 1 millisecond of delay, navigate to frame 7, smart animate, linear, and 100 milliseconds. So the same animation we're adding till frame 7. All we're doing is we're just rotating the position of this little ellipse that we've got to rotate it in a way that it looks like it's loading. Okay, Nancy's done, great. Let me see a few more yeses so that we can move on. Okay, great. Okay, so let's move on to our next part. Okay, so to do that again, the only thing that you'll be doing is selecting your frame 7, copy it. To copy it again, Alt and drag. Right, Alt and drag. And now what we want is that after it rotates, we want it to fade away in the background. And what did we do in the initial frames here? We had this little circle and it faded away into the background, right? What we did was just selected these frames, this little circle and our tick mark. We decreased the size and changed the visibility, that is opacity, to 0. So the same thing we'll be doing over here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Change the name of the frame to frame 8. Okay, and I'm going to select my little circle here and decrease the size. I'm going to center it back again. Okay, and I will center it properly from here on my properties panel. Align vertical center, so it'll align properly there. Maybe decrease the size a little bit more and center it with respect to the frame again. Okay, so we've made it smaller. All we want to do right now is change the visibility to 0. So I'm going to select my little ellipse, head over to my properties panel. You can see all of these properties appear. I'm going to look at my fill property and you can see this 100, that's its opacity. I'm just going to change that to 0. So now that it disappears. Right, so once you have made your little loader disappear, the only thing that is left to do is add the animation. So we'll select the frame 7, head over to our prototype, and then you can see this little icon appear, plus icon. We will use that, drag it to our frame 8, and the same thing again. That will be after delay of about 1 millisecond, navigate to frame 8, smart animate, linear, and 100 milliseconds. Right, so let me play this quickly and see how this works. Okay, from the initial frame, it rotates and fades away into the background. So we are done mostly with this part. The last and only thing that we have left to do, that is this, that you can see the loader appears, rotates, fades in, and comes back up as a full circle and the tick mark, and we can see the activated button. So all we have to do is achieve this state in the second frame state with a green button and which says activated, right? So once we are done with this part, once we're done with our 8 frames, we will move on to our next and final part of this animation. These animations look very complicated, but they are simply just using Smart Animate. So using Smart Animate, you can do wonders. Okay, let me wait for a few more seconds and then we will move on to the next part. Let's see, let's hope all of you catch up. Make sure that you have matching layers in all your frames, otherwise again you won't be able to achieve the animation. The last part is really just getting back our frame 2, but we have a green background and it says activated. So once you guys are ready, let's move on to the last part. No, it is not on click, it is on delay only. It is the same thing that we did from frame 4 to 7, we've just added after delay. So if we want it to happen spontaneously, right, we don't want to click on it after the loading stops, we don't want to click on it again so it disappears into the background. That'll be a little abrupt. So keep it after delay, again the same thing that we use for the rest of the frames. It'll be after delay of 1 millisecond, navigate to frame 8, smart animate, linear, and 100 milliseconds. Is that okay? So let me know once you guys are ready. We'll head on to the next part. Okay, shall we move on to the next part now? Okay, great. So the next thing, again, as we follow the same procedure everywhere, we'll be copying the frame 8 and naming it frame 9. So click on your frame 8, press Alt and drag it. We'll be changing the name of the frame 8 to 9 in our layers panel. And now what we want is that the text changes to activated and we see the load, the little circle with the tick mark back again. So if we zoom into the frame 9 and click on it, we'll be able to see this ellipse and our group 1 both in the center. All we have to do is increase the size of them back again. So I'm going to select both of them together, press shift and select them together. And I'm going to increase the size. So press shift and drag. Okay, so let me place this in the center. Okay, and now I'm going to come over to my properties panel on the right side and I'm going to change the fill to 100 for both of them. Okay. Okay, so now I can see my little loader in the center, but before that, what we want is that we want this circle to change back into the full circle that it was. Right, so when you select your circle, On the right side, you'll see other properties appearing here along with your width and height and your angle and your corner radius. You'll be able to see this little start rotation animation, the little effects that you can see here. All you have to do is change this, the middle one, the sweep, to 100% and change this as well to 100%. Change the first one to the 100%. Or you can simply select this and come back down here and change the ratio again. The way we dragged it to the boundary, we will drag it back again to the center. Okay, so you can see the properties changing here. Right, so let's change that to 0 and change this to 100%. And once we're done with that, we'll be able to see our circle back again and with a tick mark in the center. So let's make sure that our circle is the same size as that we used in the beginning. So let's change the size back to 55 pixels on both height and width. Once we've done that, we will center it with respect to our rectangle and rotate it and make sure that it sticks to our little margins that we made on the left side. And let's select our tick mark and also drag it to the center. Okay, once it's in the center, let me increase the size of it a little bit too. Okay, so once you've centered it, let me bring it down a little bit and yeah. Okay, so we have our tick mark center and we've achieved our little state that we wanted our final state to be. All we have to do is change the color of the background now. So again, to do that, I will select my rectangle inside my group 9, the background rectangle. I'll head over to my properties panel, go to fill, and maybe I want it to change to green like we saw in the animation. So let me just simply drag this and maybe we'll use a lighter shade of this. This looks nice. So you can drag your color wheel and select whatever color that you want. It doesn't have to be purple and green. It can be anything. So according to your preference, you can choose your color. And after I'm done with that, I will close this and also change the color of my tick mark. So in the final animation, you can see the tick mark is also the same color. So let me change that as well. I will select my center group 1. That is my little tick mark. I will head over to my properties panel and click on this little box beside fill, and I'll use my color picker to get the color of the background. So I'll select this and come back here. Okay, so once we're done with that, I think Kritika is asking, can we copy from frame 1? So we just have, no, don't do that. So what we're trying to do is that, again, as I said, we want matching layers. And what we've done here in frame 8 is we've achieved the loader animation and we've made it fade away into the background. So we want it to come up the same way as a full circle. So if we copy this one, it might not animate the same way the way we want it to. Because we want the loader to fade away in the background and then come up, right? So if you simply just copy a frame 1 or 2, it might just show up as a circle and you won't see the animation smoothly. So make sure that you copy from frame to frame so that the animations are perfect. Okay, so once we've done that, let's just change this to activated. So I'm just gonna write D here. And yeah, so the next thing that we'll be doing is adding the prototype, the animation. So let's click on my frame 8 and click on my prototype panel on the right side. And I'm just going to hover over this, click and drag this. And again, the same thing, I just want the animation to happen on delay. So I'm just going to click on this, and after delay of about 1 millisecond, Smart Animate Linear and 100 milliseconds. Okay, so let me play this and see how it looks now. Okay, so this is the initial frame. When we hover over it, changes in tick mark. When I click over it, the loader animation appears, and then I can see my little final activated button. So this is it, guys. That is it for today. We've completed our entire submit button or activate button animation. Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty straightforward, all done using Figma and Smart Animate. So let me know once you guys are done. Leave a yes in the chat box telling me if you're done. It will be great. Let me quickly select all of these and position them properly. I'm just going to select all frames and change the vertical alignment to distribute vertical spacing. Now they're spaced properly. Great, Jayashree done. What about the rest of you? Let me know if you're still doing. So this is a pretty simple animation, and by looking at it, you might feel that it's very complicated, but again, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All we're trying to do here is changing the shapes of different elements, and we're achieving this entire animation. Last frame properties. Okay, so I hope you're talking about the animation. The prototype that we're using again is the same after delay and navigate to. We are giving a delay of 1 millisecond and smart animate linear 100 milliseconds. The same way that we've done in the rest of the frame. And here what we're doing, we're just increasing the size of this little circle that is present here. No, we decrease the size of the circle here and we made the visibility 0. So here again, what we're doing, we're increasing the size of both our tick mark that you remember, we made the visibility 0 here and we didn't bring that back up. It was just there hiding in the background. So here what we've done, we've increased the size and given that proper color, that is green color, and that is it. Just change the visibility to 100%, that's all.
Yep, and with these 9 steps, basically, you have got the animation. So let me see how many of you were able to get the animation. Okay, Nancy says it's done, and even Jayashree has got it. Kushagra has got
Amazing.
it. That's great. So guys, if you like today's session and you got the animation perfectly, do give us a shout out on Instagram, okay? So just take a picture, record a video of the animation and put it on your Instagram stories and tag @dokogen, okay? That's our Instagram handle, @dokogen. And you can get the handle in the chat box as well. I've sent it. So do tag us, give us a shout out, and we'll be very glad to share your stories on our channel as well. Also, those who were not able to follow along or have some doubts and all, we will also be posting this particular session, okay, on YouTube. So you can get the recorded video of this session on YouTube, and then you can follow along that to complete your animation.
I hope you all enjoyed today's session. It was a pretty nice animation that it's a mini project that you all can add to your portfolios, resumes.
Yep,
I
exactly.
hope you all had fun.
Also, if you're still not in the community, I'm going to send the link once again in the chat box so that you can join the community. And for those of you who are watching it on YouTube, there will be a link down in the description. You guys can get it from there and become a part of the community, because we keep on having sessions on these. And we are very soon going to have a very great session on blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. So don't miss out on that. Do join the community as soon as possible. And we have a lot of more surprises coming up. So yeah, just stay tuned with it. Thank you so much, guys, for joining today. And it was amazing to have you today with us. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, everyone. It was great having you. We will be having many more fun sessions like this on UI UX. I hope you are all looking forward to it. Thank you so much.